up, maniacs and bookworms alike? It's your boy Media Fiend, and we are back with another episode of Media Fiend Book Club. Now, I've been tearing through some books lately. As you can see, look, we're in a brand new area. We don't have that white wall behind me no more. We're actually in Media Fiend's library here. And yeah, but no, like I said, this book club thing I've been doing has been fun because you know what? It's been helping me read more books. I've been reading a lot more books lately, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. And the last book club that we had, I had just finished Ring, which was a pretty decent book. Now going back and thinking about it, it was not a bad book at all. I mean, it was a pretty solid book. It was a good read. It had its moments where it drug a little bit, but yeah. Well, anyways, during that video, I had told you guys the next book your boy was going to be reading. Now, you could tell by the title of this book, and before we dive into this review, just know that, your boy Media Fiend, his book club, sometimes I get a little happy, a little excited talking about the book, that I give away some spoilers and plot reviews and everything. So just know that I'm going to try to keep it light. I'm going to try to keep it as minimal as possible, but unfortunately, it's going to happen. So, yeah. So, if you want to read the book, pause this, read it, come back, let me know in the comment section. Come on, let me hear what you guys think about the book in question. So, without further ado, let's just dive into the review. And today's review, we're going to go with. Oh. Oh, look at that. We're going to be reviewing Wishmaster. And this was written by Christian Francis, based on the original screenplay from Peter Atkins. And if you don't know, Wishmaster is a movie that came out in 1997. This movie is 20 some almost 30 years old, I believe. Wait, 20 27 97 2007. Yeah, yeah. This movie is almost 30 years old. And this movie is um about a jinn or a genie, but an evil genie. So basically now I'm going to tell you what I like, and then we're going to get into other to discussions of what I don't like. The way this guy wrote this book, I will say, I kind of like the way he wrote it in the way that it starts it starts off as like the jinn is talking to you, and then you have some of the story, and then it stops like midway through, kind of like going into another act, and then the jinn's talking to you again, telling you, hey, this is what's going on. You can stop now, but you'll leave yourself wondering what's left, what the story, whatever. And then at the end, when you finish the book, it's like the jinn tells you that it tricked you and all this other stuff. I'm not going to get into details what it said, but that's what happened in this book. Um, but anyways, so this is the novelization of the movie, but this came out 23 years after the movie. For some reason, this wasn't a novelization that happened around the time of the movie. I don't know why, but that's not here nor there. So, anyways, as I'm reading this book, I see things from the movie. I have, you know, Robert Englund as, Beaumont, which he played in the movie. There's a scene where the security guard in the book, I'm thinking Kane Hodder because in the movie it was Kane Hodder. The doorman at the party um, is um, Tony Todd in the movie, saw a picture of Tony Todd in the book, stuff like that. Now, this book was not bad, but I will say this. There were times in the book where he changed he changed the scene from the movie. And what I mean is, like, there's a scene, sometimes it was for the better, sometimes it was for worse. There's a scene in the movie with the guard in particular. Um, he's trying to get in to get Alex's address, which Alex is the main character of this movie. Um, she awoke in him, and he's trying to find her to grant her 3 wishes to bring his evil to this earth. So he goes to her place of work to talk to her boss, and there's a security guard there, which in the movie was Kane Hodder. Well, he keeps trying to grant the guard his wishes because in the story, the Jinn can't do anything to kill anybody. He can't do anything to harm anybody unless they make a wish. And then when he makes the wish, he could twist it, you know what I mean, and kill him that way. So he keeps trying to get the guard to make a wish. The guard's like, no, no, get out of here. He's like, you can have anything you want. Tell me. And the guard's like, well, I want you to leave. And then he starts flipping out and stuff. He's like, I have to get inside, blah, blah, blah. And then the guard stupidly says, well, you're going to have to go through me. And that's something I would love to see. And then, the Jinn smiles and then basically just obliterates him in the book and walks through him like he's not even there. Now, in the movie, he kind of turns the guard into um, a part of the glass door and walks through the glass door. So that was different. And then there was a scene in the book towards the end at Beaumont's party where all chaos erupts. And in the movie, it was just a lot of violence and death and gore and stuff. Now in the book, there was 2 instances in the book where I was like, all right, that's awesome, and then there was one where I was like, that is kind of shitty. So the first instances where I thought it was awesome was when a guy basically turned into a deer. Like he grew the antlers bloodily out of his head, and all his body fell off, and like it was all a gory sequence of him just turning into a deer and then impaling people in panic. And then that was the cool part. And then there was a part where this guy touched a woman and she turned into him, and then she touched somebody and they turned in, and it was like a bunch of clones attacking this guy and like eating him, and then the clones turned on themselves. That was pretty stupid. But there was also parts of this book that felt like a deleted scene, which was pretty cool. But yeah, all in all, the book wasn't too bad. It wasn't that great either. Like I said, there were parts that he changed that were good, but there were big pivotal parts of the movie that he changed that weren't that good. So because of all that, I'm gonna have to give this book. It's gonna be the lowest one I've ever given. 3.5 out of 5. And that's because, like I said, he took his liberties with certain parts that maybe he shouldn't have. Now, he did add a lot of good stuff to the book. I will say that. He added a lot of good stuff. But ultimately, when you change pivotal points in a movie to make it your own scene, it felt like he was kind of like trying to make it his own scene, even though it was a pivotal point in the movie. I was just like, nah, I wasn't feeling that. But other than that, 3.5, it is a good read. It's something that you can knock out in a weekend if you really want to. If you're into like movie novelizations, like I kind of am. I kind of like reading movie novels and stuff, which is cool. So definitely check it out. 3.5 out of 10. Not the best, not the worst, definitely not the worst. But yeah, Wishmaster. Definitely recommend it if you have some time to sit down and read it. Um, yeah, so all right. Now with the review out of the way, you know what comes next. We have to choose the next book. Oh, we're going back. Hey, we're back at the library. We're out of the Wishmaster hell and we're back in the library. And I decided I have a goal I need to hit. I have a goal I need to hit. I have to hit 20 books by the end of the year. Okay. And it's got to be done. So, and with me going back to work soon, more than likely, I'm not going to have as much time to read as I do now. So, I decided I'm going to do kind of a cheat code here. And I'm going to try to read books with not so many pages. Now, Wishmaster had 245, which is an okay sized book. It's still not massive, but I'm gonna try to read smaller books from at least 10 of them. I got to get through 10 more books, and then I'm gonna start reading the big ones. So I was looking at my bookshelf and I found something. It looks interesting. It looks kind of creepy. It looks kind of kiddie. I don't care. I want to read it so I can get through my challenge, and that is going to be I found puppets living in my wall, in my apartment walls. I don't know. Basically, this says, okay, so first off, the book's written by Ben Farthing, okay, and it got It says nostalgically hellish. It says, "Can you tell me how to get out alive?" It says, Johnny awakes. A puppet looms over his bed. He recognizes the furry monster. Grandpa is a Grandpa was its puppeteer on the childish television show Our City Street. But Grandpa went missing a year ago. He disappeared from this very apartment building, which was converted from the old Our City Street studio. Desperate to see Grandpa again, Johnny follows the puppet inside the building's walls, even ever deeper into a puppet infested labyrinth. And it says, goosebumpsy, but then dives into something terribly cosm- cosmically wrong beneath the surface. So there it is. I found puppets living in my apartment walls. So we're gonna have to try it out. And this is a relatively short one. I think this one's 153 pages. So a little more than 100 pages less than Wishmaster. So I should be able to fly through this pretty quickly. So yeah, so we got that. Now on to the last part of business. I decided for the last time I'm going to extend the giveaway for these awesome gifts. A bunch of bookmarks with um, horror icons on it. As you can see, me and Jason have been through a lot together. We've been going through all our books together, but you got a bunch of bookmarks in here. You have the special edition. um, Here, it's the special edition one. It's gonna come up invisible, but that was pretty cool. Nah, it's green, but it's The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty, the special edition one with the scary girl in the front. I didn't realize it was gonna show up green on the green screen. But we got that, and we also have a copy of the very first book that I reviewed on Media Fiend's Book Club, and that is a brand new, fresh copy of Freddy vs. Ash. So you get all these cool gifts for this giveaway. Like I said, I can't show The Exorcist. Hey, maybe I can show the back of it, the spine of it. The Exorcist. All right, we got those and we got the bookmarks. Now I'm extending the giveaway until next Friday, the 28th, which is Black Friday. Black Friday, we're going to do the giveaway. So you have a little extra time. I'm going to leave in the description. Actually, I'm going to just tell you guys the rules. Of course, you got to be a subscriber. Now, you can either subscribe to this channel or you can be a subscriber on my Media Fiend Gaming channel, because I had a couple people who, when I originally posted the video, I posted on Media Fiend Gaming. So, and they put their entries in, so they're automatically entered. But you have to be either a subscriber to this channel or Media Fiend Gaming. The questions are: what is your favorite book? Who is your favorite author? And what's one book you want to read before you go? Before you check out of this life. Answer those three questions. You're automatically entered to win this. And then on Friday, Black Friday, the 28th, we're going to do a drawing. We're going to put names in a hat, and we're going to basically do last man standing like I do with all my giveaways. And then the last name I pull is the name that is going to be the winner of this prize. And then to when you find out if you won or not, go to my Media Fiend Gaming channel, or I'll also put a link to my X on this channel. Go to my X, hit me with a DM, and then we'll get your information and get your prizes sent out. Okay, so you got one more week. I'm giving you guys one more week to get some entries in, because I've already had some entries private message to me in X, and I've had some entries on the video. So now you guys know the rules again for this channel, and now you guys can, on this channel, if you want, put your entries in the comment section. So there it is. But all right, guys, with all that being said, thank you guys for today's epic episode of Media Fiend Book Club. Definitely recommend you check it out. If you're into horror novels, if you're into movie novelizations, check that out. 3.5, not the best, not the worst. And then look for the next couple days. We're going to be talking a little bit about I found puppets living in my apartment walls. All right, guys. That's it. That's it for you boys. So if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button along with them bell notifications. That way, every time your boy Media Fiend throws up a review, a book club review, a book club recommendation, a book haul, anything like that, you're in the know. Also, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Head on over to my Media Fiend gaming channel. Hit me a subscribe there. Every Friday we go live and we play some video games. At this point, we're working on Resident Evil in preparation for Resident Evil 9 when it comes out. And yeah, so, all right, guys, with all that being said, I love you guys. Thank you guys. And until next time, this is your boy Media Fiend saying, until we meet again, be chill, and we out. And make sure you get yourself a good book because it's starting to get cold outside. There's nothing better. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.